Welcome back. Social media is still buzzing after a man carrying a fake gun rushed the stage and tackled comedian Dave Chappelle during a show. Now, before that incident, comedian Sampson McCormick, he was also attacked while performing on stage at a different show. I spoke with the writer and actor about what happened moments before he was punched in the stomach during his performance. Take a look.
Okay. To say, see, this is turned into group therapy.
That punch. Okay, so tell us, what was going on in your mind when that happened?
This heifer done lost her mind, okay, and that's not even the actual incident. That was before a man ran from the back and punched me in my left jaw. And we got into a physical altercation, so we're trying to get that footage from the casino.
So you were assaulted twice in one night?
Twice in one night.
So it looked like she was being playful. Was she serious at that moment, or was she being playful?
Okay, so this is not to judge anybody, but that heifer, she had just got high or something in the parking lot. That punch hurt. I was playing it off.
Oh, okay. And so how did you keep your cool at that moment, and how did that incident differ from the one that happened with the guy that you actually got into a scuffle with?
Well, I was thinking about my paycheck, number one.
Right. I got to finish this show and get paid.
Yeah, I was thinking about that check. And then, two, that was actually the same show where the guy got on stage. I guess it was her boyfriend or something, a brother, I don't know. And he got up and we got into I defended myself, and I actually spoke with the local law enforcement, and they told me that I could get a misdemeanor for protecting myself.
Wow, you're protecting yourself and you could get a misdemeanor. So were you injured when the man and you got into the fight?
I did get some bruises, but let me be clear, Shannon, he lost that fight.
Okay, look, let it be clear, because you were defending yourself, right? Okay.
Yes.
Well, do you plan on pressing any charges against him or her?
I'm still thinking about that right now. We just are trying to get the footage to see exactly what happened. When something like that happens, your mind kind of goes blank and you go into survival mode. And you know, I'm black and I'm from the hood, so somebody run up on me, I'm already like, hold on, what's going on? and this is why I'm up on stage trying to work. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
And we're seeing some of your bruises here in these photos, and it looks like your hand was swollen. You have some cuts and bruises there. So you did have some injuries while defending yourself. Okay, so why do you think all of this is happening? Are people just getting angry and offended, and they're just taking their frustration out on comedians? And why has it happened so often now?
I think that, one, it happens more often than we like to acknowledge. And then secondly, I think that it's happening so much because of the social climate that we're in. People have lost their minds, and they've also lost the ability to have differences and to apply critical thinking to those differences. Social media, where we encourage groupthink, doesn't help that anymore.
Well, after Dave Chappelle was attacked, Chris Rock got on stage and said, was that Will Smith? You know, he was making a joke about the situation. But do you think there is some validity to the Will Smith factor here?
No validity. Those are two different things.
And do you think people are not considering comedians as people who are doing their jobs and just trying to take a joke, and they're getting so offended that they would attack them in public?
Whew, Shannon, that is a loaded question.
Well, you know, go ahead, unload then.
Whew, what they say, we got to unpack that. I think the biggest issue is that comedians, really great comedians who are really good at our jobs, I'm one of those, we hold up a mirror to society and we say, hey, look, this is what's going on. And if you have not dealt with issues that you have, of course, when you got to look in that mirror, you're not going to like what you see. And, you know, we live in an era now where instead of having the conversations that we did especially in the 90s. I think the 90s was a really sweet spot for a lot of important conversations. people have lost the ability to be able to look at themselves in the mirror and figure out how to have a conversation about it or what's wrong. Comedians are simply doctors. We diagnose society, and we live in a crazy society. The fact that people jump up on stage when we're doing that lets you know there's a lot going on.
Well, clearly a lot of people don't like the diagnosis that you guys are giving out about society, and it seems like the landscape of comedy is just changing. You used to get a pass and talk about anything, but now it's a little different. So are you deciding to dial down your jokes maybe a little bit to make people feel more comfortable?
I'm not going to dial down nothing. I'm going to get me a bigger gun to carry on stage. No. You know, I've never been personally and what we call an offensive comedian. I am both black, gay. I was one of the first openly gay black comedians on the circuit, especially to get the notoriety that I've gotten in the business. And so it was never safe for me to be on stage, one. But I always have used the platform as an opportunity to engage with humanity, number one. There's nothing really to shy away from. I think a really crucial element of comedy is the ability to tell the truth. And sometimes telling the truth means admitting to the biases that we have. When we see a black person, when we're driving down the street and somebody's driving crazy, you do go, oh my God, is this an Asian person behind me? If, you know, black people, when we're having a conversation with each other and something's crazy, we ask each other the question, were they white or were they black? What color were they? You know, there's certain inherent biases that we naturally have. And so us acting like we don't have those biases is only making being able to have conversations about them more difficult. You know, as humans, we have differences. The problem is now we try to act like we don't have those differences.
And because of those differences, comedians are known for crossing the line in their jokes. Do you think the people that may be sensitive or not want to be talked about should just stay away from comedy shows altogether? I know myself, I just make sure I stay out that front row where they can see you so easily to point you out. I'm just stay in the back a little bit. But should those other people stay away from shows altogether?
Okay, so Shannon, when you come to one of my shows, I got a wireless mic. I'm coming back there to get you.
Oh, dang.
You know, I think it really comes down against your critical thinking. Nobody is making anyone turn on a Dave Chappelle comedy special on Netflix. Netflix has buku content for people to choose from. And so people who are choosing to sit down and look at a Dave Chappelle comedy special or go to a show where they know a comedian is going to talk some trash to them, they are making that choice. Comedians are doing what we always have done, which is to push the boundaries of society and tell the truth that can be funny as hell, but make people uncomfortable. And again, I think because of social media, where you have folks who sensationalize things and they go, ooh, look at, like we're in 4th grade again, ooh, look at what this comedian said in this 30-second clip without context, and they say, you should be upset about this. That is what's, you know, causing the big problems. And that should, you would think people would go, okay, well, let me go find a comedian that, you know, that I can identify with, but instead of doing that, they go, oh, let's go look at this comedian that we know is going to offend everybody.
All right, up next, she's classy, bougie, ratchet. That's right. Now Megan Thee Stallion is inspiring the next generation.